Welcome to the daily briefing from interest.co.nz. I'm David Chaston. Today we review August home loan affordability. We'll look at the latest changes in mortgage interest rates, check the latest R&D investment levels, and we'll wrap up with what the other media are reporting. Our Home Loan Affordability series, sponsored by Fairfax Media, is now out for August, and you can access the details from our menus under the News tab drop-down. And this shows that home loans are as unaffordable as ever, seriously so. Not only will it take a record proportion of a take-home pay to afford the mortgage on a median-priced house purchased in August, that is almost 82%, it's also very bad for first home buyers. Our First Home Buyer series focuses on 24 to 29-year-olds and assumes they buy in the low quartile of house values. But they now need 72% of take-home pay to afford such a house if they bought in August. Some parts of the country are much tougher than those national averages. In Auckland, a first home buyer would need a staggering 93%. Clearly you can't do it on one income. At least two full incomes are now required to get your first home, and even that will be a bit of a stretch. But there are regions where you can still be done on one income if you earn the median wage in your age group. All the details for each of 12 regions are on this website. Look under the Home Loan Affordability links in the News tab on the drop-down menus. Kiwibank has grabbed the headlines with its new 8.6 3-year mortgage rate, one that is 40 basis points lower than its previous 3-year rate and 50 basis points lower than other banks. Is this the opening shot in this year's mortgage season? Probably. Over the past few months, fixed-rate mortgage margins have been growing. In fact, ever since the Reserve Bank Governor had that quiet word with bank CEOs to help them out by not discounting. We calculate that there is at least 25 basis points in margin that is available for spring home loan discounts, and more for those banks that really want to go after market share. How competitive will it get? We suspect it will get increasingly so. That is because if the volume of new home sales continues the fall off we have seen in July and August, and the real estate market remains soft, there will not be the same level of new business to be won. An increasing focus by banks will go on winning mortgage rollovers. There will be less total business available, and that will mean bank sales targets will be harder to achieve. Consumers will benefit. Now is the time to start seeking discounts below the bank offer rates. At the end of next week, we'll get our next look at GDP when the second quarter results are announced. They're expected to show low growth, less than 2%. That growth will put us behind the OECD average and well behind the countries we usually benchmark ourselves with. Underperformance in this measure over a long period just measures how much poorer we're getting and helps explain why Kiwis migrate and why we have skill shortages. Poor productivity is a key reason we can't keep up with the rest of the world, and low investment in research and development helps answer why we have poor productivity. The latest data out for 2006 shows this slippage clearly. We spend less than half the OECD average on R&D. While the private sector is investing more, the universities are barely holding their own, and government is investing less and less in R&D, despite their fine words about its importance. And finally today, a quick wrap-up of some other recent news. Rabobank, which has the highest available credit rating from both Standard & Poor's and Moody's, has raised $900 million in its first securities offer to the New Zealand public. Banks have begun cutting interest rates on fixed-term home loans, but are pouring cold water on the prospect of an all-out price war, according to one paper. The local arm of US giant GE Money has further extended its tentacles into the New Zealand credit industry with a deal that will see it finance the Senate used car loan business at Dorchester Pacific. You can get more news and start with Newsmaker Views on our news page. Join us again tomorrow for the freshest finance news on the web. We'll see you then.